السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وعظيمنا وقائدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله من بعثه الله رحمة للعالمين هاديا مبشرا ونذيرا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الأبرار وصحبه الأصحاب. أما بعد، عباد الله، فإني أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل القائل في محكم كتابه: أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال أيضا: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. صدق الله العظيم. Brothers and sisters, inshallah, our khutbah today is about the peddling of, or the spreading of falsehood. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has enjoined us to seek the truth at all cost. As he said in the ayah that I just recited, Ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu taqullaha wa qulu qawlan sadida. O you who believe, fear Allah and always speak the truth. Now, in today's dynamic and complex world, with so many ways and so many channels, so many media that are at our disposal to present and represent issues, we are able to send news and messages across the globe instantly at the push of a button. MashaAllah, technology has helped make life so easy for all of us. It keeps people connected with each other, no matter the distances between them. It has even made Islam so accessible to every part of the globe by bringing the Quran and the Hadith to people in so many formats, in all the different languages that we can think of, and on different platforms. However, having said that, I think adding that all of this technology that brings us this ease and these advantages, saying that it also comes with many disadvantages is actually an understatement. I mean, using these technologies, truths have been manipulated and they are spread with breathtaking speed. The line between the truth and falsehood is completely blurred. And we, as the consumers of information, we often find ourselves not only accepting falsehood in place of truth, but we also find ourselves rejecting the truth because the peddlers of falsehood have completely messed with the identity of truth and have made falsehood more attractive and more palatable to us. The social media has recruited all of us as peddlers of falsehood, unfortunately. Falsehood comes pre-packaged and looking very plausible. And we act, all of us, as robots by mindlessly sharing these falsehoods without paying any attention to its sources or authenticity. Although the ease of sharing materials on social media, mashallah, is such a revolutionary feature that is helping to disseminate useful knowledge, information and messages instantly, it is also potentially destructive and a source of fitna because it facilitates the peddling of falsehood. Allah has described in the Quran the inventors and peddlers of falsehood as non-believers. As he said in Surah Al-Nahl, ayah 105, إنما يفتري الكذب الذين لا يؤمنون بآيات الله وأولئك هم الكاذبون. They only invent falsehood who do not believe in the verses of Allah, and it is those who are the liars. Sharing any falsehood, even if inadvertently, puts us in that category, although we didn't actually originate the falsehood. This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us to verify the source and authenticity of any information we receive before acting upon it. We have to investigate who actually created what we're sharing and what is their motive before we go ahead and push the button. Because once you push the button and you share, it's out of your hands, and if any harm is done as a result of that, then you are part of that. You are part of the perpetrators of that. As Allah said in Surah Al-Hujurat, ayah 6, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنْ جَاءَكُمْ فَاسِقٌ بِنَبَإٍ فَتَبَيَّنُوا أَن تُصِيبُوا قَوْمًا بِجَهَالَةٍ فَتُصْبِحُوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ. O you who believe, if a fasiq, this could be a liar or an evil person, comes to you with any news or any message, you make sure you verify it, lest you should harm people in ignorance and afterwards you become regretful for what you have done. And this could be by you sharing news verbally with people, or by you sharing things on social media, on WhatsApp, which is the norm these days. So brothers and sisters, there are two ways, as far as this sort of form of peddling of falsehood, either directly or indirectly, knowingly or inadvertently, there are two ways that we do this. That is actually we do it quite frequently, sometimes without even knowing. We participate in this mindless peddling of falsehood through a phenomenon called chain messaging. We do this all the time, but we probably don't know what it's called. We don't know what it's actually referred to as chain messaging. Through sharing chain messages, we get messages that claim that there's a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or there's a particular phenomenon, and then that message demands that you forward to a number of people. And if you do that, by doing so, you would receive a blessing, you receive a benefit, a reward, or you will be cursed if you do not do that, if you do not comply. Sometimes some of these messages come with the expression of Allah's greatness over a video or an image, which ostensibly depicts something miraculous. For example, you'd have, some of these videos, you have like a baby with the name of Allah ostensibly inscribed on the forehead of the baby, or the baby comes and there's the name of Allah on his palm, or sometimes you have a video of maybe a winged horse galloping across the sky. And people accept these as truth, and they send these messages. Or sometimes we have these videos of people being exhumed from their graves with no signs at all of decomposition. And they then go ahead and claim that these people are awliya Allah, so we should always go out there and express gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with no proof at all. We're always looking for these miracles. These are often accompanied by a request to either send to a number of people and say Allah Akbar, and you are actually practically disowned as a Muslim if you do not comply, if you don't do this, because at the end of the message it says, if you don't do this, then your iman is not complete. Ulama have agreed that believing that not forwarding such chain letters or chain messages could harm us, or believing that forwarding them could believe us, as claimed by the inventors of these messages, actually undermines our faith and negates our belief in Allah, in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are all false materials, and in fact complying is actually haram. As Allah said to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Surah Al-A'raf, ayah 188, قُلْ لَا أَمْلِكُ لِنَفْسِي نَفْعًا وَلَا ضَرًّا إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ وَلَوْ كُنْتُ أَعْلَمُ الْغَيْبَ لَاسْتَكْثَرْتُ مِنَ الْخَيْرِ وَمَا مَسَّنِيَ السُّوءُ إِنْ أَنَا إِلَّا نَذِيرٌ وَبَشِيرٌ لِقَوْمٍ يُؤْمِنُونَ. Say, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I hold not for myself the power of benefit or harm, except what Allah has willed, and if I knew the unseen or the ghaib, I could have acquired much wealth, and no harm would have touched me. I am not except a warner and a bringer of good tidings to a people who believe. Likewise, believing in false miracle reported to be from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is equally haram. We're quick to declare something a miracle, saying something that looks surprising to us. For example, like some of the examples that I cited earlier on, people use all the technology at their disposal to manipulate images, and then they share it with us, and we're very, very quick to accept that as a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meanwhile, if we actually want to see miracle, then what we have to do is to actually study the Quran, because the Quran is the ultimate miracle. We should look into ourselves, into around us, into all of Allah's creatures, or Allah's creations. Those are the miracles. We should acquire some knowledge and understand the intricacies of Allah's creation. For example, you take a strand of human hair. That is a miracle. It's so simple, but as Allah says in so many ayats in the Quran, what of Allah's creation can you put all the humans on earth to actually replicate? If you put all the scientists in the world to actually replicate just one strand of hair, come up with an original hair, they would not be able to do that with all the chemicals, all the materials that they have at their disposal. As Allah said in the Quran, this whole phenomenon is actually encapsulated in these 6 ayats of Surah Al-Jathiyah, where Allah said, تنزيل الكتاب من الله العزيز الحكيم إن في السماوات والأرض لآيات للمؤمنين وفي خلقكم وما يبث من دابة آية لقوم يوقنون واختلاف الليل والنهار وما أنزل الله من السماء من رزق فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وتصريف الرياح آيات لقوم يعقلون تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق فبأي حديث بعد الله وآياته يؤمنون. The revelation of the book is from Allah, the Exalted in might, the Wise. Indeed, within the heavens and earth are signs for the believers. And in the creation of yourselves and what He disperses of moving creatures and signs, are signs for people who are certain in faith. And in the alternation of night and day, and in what Allah sends down from the skies of provision and gives life thereby to the earth after its lifelessness, and in His direction of the winds, are all signs for a people who reason. These are the verses, or these are the signs of Allah we recite to you in truth. Then in what statement after Allah and His signs will you believe? These are the miracles we should ponder over, brothers and sisters, not flying horses across the sky. And the next ayah delivers a very, very grave warning to the peddlers of falsehood, which says, وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ أَفَّاكٍ أَثِيمٍ. Woe to every sinful liar. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على النبي المصطفى وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. Brothers and sisters, the second way in which we could actually take part in this mindless peddling of falsehood is through sharing defamatory content, that is video or audio. Now, this could be either in the form of a fake and distressing video falsely implicating a person or an organization in a scandal, or when someone maliciously misinterprets a perfectly benign or innocuous thing, like a symbol, for example, on a product, in order to incite anger and revolt in a group of people. Now, we've seen this over and over again, where somebody, perhaps a disgruntled employee of a company, takes something, maybe there's a symbol on a product that resembles Allah's name or resembles Muhammad's name, and then he makes a video and then he shares it amongst us that this company has actually gone out there and deliberately inscribed their product with Allah's name in order to offend Muslims, when that wasn't actually the truth. That was a completely benign symbol. But because they know that we Muslims sometimes we're really, really quick to react to these things, we're very hasty. We get up and then we disseminate this information and it goes viral. We should know that if this turns out to be false, that we actually take part in actively in dhulm, because we've acted unjustly against this company, and any harm that comes to them, any loss of revenue or anything like that, we actually take part in that. Okay, or very recently I think there was another viral video that accused a company of lacing its dairy product with HIV virus, for example. I mean, this is something that anybody that knows anything about these things knows this is actually impossible. But we share these so mindlessly, we share these videos so mindlessly without verifying the source of that, and it turned out he was actually an employee who was sacked that perpetrated that. I mean, I'm not saying that everything that we share is false, but in order to heed to that ayah that Allah talks to us about, about investigating the sources and the authenticity of what we disseminate, we shouldn't sort of hastily send these things about. We should, investigate it. I mean, as researchers, you don't go about adding any material that you obtain into your research. You investigate, you authenticate, you make sure that that material comes from an authentic source before you go ahead and do that. So this is very, very important. Abu Huraira radiallahu ta'ala anhu reported that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, it is enough sin for a man to speak everything that he hears. Now this goes back to, because what it is we hear a lot of things on a daily basis. We collect all of these information on a daily basis. But then some of them, a fraction, a percentage of this information that we gather is bound to contain some falsehood. But by sharing everything that we get, we are inadvertently taking part in disseminating falsehood. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it is enough sin for a man to speak everything that he hears. So everything that you hear, you don't have to pass it on, because some of it might turn out to be false. Hence, our righteous forebearers, our khulafa, the Sahaba, were very, very keen to establish proof in all matters, and were very, very wary of rumors. So, brothers and sisters, to conclude this, I advise everyone to verify matters and not to rush to pass all news until they are sure that the news is true, that the source is authentic, otherwise we will be inadvertently committing an act of peddling falsehood. May Allah prevent us from doing that, and Allah knows best. صلوا على خير خلق الله محمد بن عبد الله فإن الله قد أمركم بذلك وقال أفضل من قائل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما قال من عليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم تسليم من صلى عليه مرة صلى الله عليه بها عشرة اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى أصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين ورضي الله عن الأربعة الخلفاء أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن بقية أصحاب نبيك والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وأنا معهم بمنك وكرمك يا أكرم الأكرمين ويا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك ووحد المشركين وانصر عبادك الموحدين واعم عوزة الدين يا رب العالمين اللهم آمنا في أوطاننا وآمن المسلمين جميعا في أوطانهم واصلح أئمتنا وولاية أمورنا ولا تجعل ولايتنا وولاية غيرنا في من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت إنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون فاذكروا الله العظيم الجليل يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون فقوموا إلى صلاتكم.